Hi, this is Phil Pug from the Start House in Truckee, California. If you've ever been in our shop, you know how extensive our ski wall is. Something that we're really proud of as far as offering diverse skis for all types of skiers. The other area that we're also very proud of is our binding wall. We look past the binding as just holding you in and releasing you as you expect a binding to do. But we also take a look at the binding as the performance aspect of the ski. People will ask me, well, why do I need a really expensive binding? I only ski at a 6 or 7 or an 8 din. Well, the binding, again, is going to hold you in. It's going to release you, whether it be an entry level or a high-end binding. But what happens in between in the performance aspect of that binding? And looking at that binding is basically an interface between the boot and the ski. So, the example I use is if you've got the ski at a high edge angle and you expect that ski to be there, you've got the downward pressure of the boot on that, pressing down on that ski. What happens is a lesser binding with a less expensive housing, that ski is going to flex away from you. So if you expect that ski at a certain edge angle, you're not always going to get it. And when you're spending more in the binding, you're not necessarily spending more for the spring, but you're spending more for a better housing of that binding. And that's what makes the difference as far as when you're getting into a higher performance or even an ultra high performance bindings. But if you take a look behind me here, you'll see as far as the extensive wall that we have for bindings. Starting off on our side over here, we have our specialty bindings. And that's where we're going to get into our backcountry and touring bindings. So we have it for people that are a little more inbound specific, that are going backcountry, and also people that are in the backcountry that also do still want some inbound performance. We have our race series of bindings that we offer for anywhere from a 45-pound racer to a World Cup skier, up to anywhere from starting at a 7.5 to 4.5 din binding up to 20 din bindings for the World Cup racers. Then we get into our regular series of bindings over here. We do have some leftover bindings, so if we're looking to save some money, we do have options for you there too. But we have lightweight series of bindings for our more aggressive kids and free riders, lighter free riders, and women who might want a little bit lighter binding that do not create the forces that a heavier, stronger skier will create. Over here, our higher performance bindings, such as our 12 and 13 din bindings, that are good for 80% of the all-mountain skiers. But then we will also get into our higher performance bindings over here, which are starting at 14 and 15 din bindings. A lot of them do have their counterpart over on our wall over here, but we're going to get into better housings, where we might have some composites in the materials over here. Some of those are replaced with metals over here. So when you're spending more for a better binding, it's that you're buying a better housing of a binding and not always the spring. So when you're looking at a binding, it's not that you want to be at the higher end of that din range of binding. You want to be in the lower to middle range, giving that spring a multitude of range to work with as far as your release and retention value. With our extensive ski wall, you have a multitude of choices over here. The most important thing that we're going to do for you is when you come in is we're going to help you pick out a binding on our wall over here, which is going to help maximize the performance of our choices on this side of the wall. So when we put everything together for you, you're going to get a piece of equipment and a tool that's going to be the most enjoyment for you out there on the hill. So when you come in, we'll work with you in every aspect, and we'll choose the piece of equipment and the pieces of equipment that are going to work best for you. So we'll see you in the shop, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.